Hi, my lovely. So yes, I've just discovered nettle tea, and I just got this blast of energy, and I thought I'm going to do a reading. So yeah, no wonder you're feeling it. So you're it's it's called the IC. So the IC is the foundation of the chart. So your core your core self, yeah, you know. And it's 0 degrees Aquarius, which is exactly where Pluto's at right now. So when the IC is being transformed, it's the whole foundations of who you are that's being transformed. And so it's the IC is opposite the career, self, career, or whatever you want to call it. We shouldn't really call it a career as a projector. You know, it's more, let's call it our dharma. Yeah. And then it hits the first house, which is the house of self, opposite the house of relationships. So it's the cross of, they call it the cross of incarnation, because that is our incarnation cross. So yeah, not sure how your energy is. It might be a little bit, remember Pluto is, it's, so Pluto's the phoenix that emerges from the ashes. So I'd be very, very surprised if it wasn't backwards and forwards that you're going through. It's going to continue that way, by the way. My sun's 2 degrees, so I'm feeling it. So I want you to know this, because you can do your research on your own. It's at 0 degrees till June. Then it's going back to Capricorn. Oh God, honestly, I don't think I can cope anymore. But it is. And it's squaring the nodes. Scorpio, Taurus, then Libra and Aries for the whole year. Which simply means there's still work to be done around our relationships. It's still going to be going on. And then next year it goes more and more into Aquarius, and it's going to spend a couple of months. Now you can study this yourself. It's called the Gene Key Human Design Gate 41, which is the start codon for a whole new the whole new era starting to evolve. And I think that's when we're going to start to get, I think that's when our path's going to start to be revealed about how we're all on a practical level moving forward. I think it's going to be about our living situations, where we're living, everything like that. I mean, I really think fundamentally that's what it is. This year, it is an Aquarius, but we're still learning through the 60. So you can look this up, and you've got the book now. It's a little bit heady, and it's a little bit, but it's still good. The 60th Gene Key, which is a bit, so we're still in limitation. We're being transmuted, Scorpio, through limitation. And if we work with it, then the start codon will open up next year, but definitely it's fully there the year after. It doesn't go retrograde, and a new pathway is going to open up for us. Yeah, and that's when we're going to know the way forward. So once we know that, we don't have to fight against the present set of circumstances in our lives. Yeah, we can just go, this is where we're at, and then, because really most of our struggles come from trying to resist where we're at, don't they? And if we know that's what's going on this year, we can say, right, being turned into a butterfly is not a pleasant experience. It's really, really not, by the way. But if we know that's what's going on, we can hold ourselves in it, because we know that the gateway is going to be opening up for us. I mean, all your Aquarius is in the 4th house, so this is about how you live. Again, remember I said to you, it's coming through that 44 gene key. So I'm assuming it's going to be a new way of living that's going to come up for you. Well, hopefully for all of us, basically, but I literally think that's how it's going to represent itself. But we are still in limitation. Just keep that heart pumping. Just keep with the process. If you're in a good enough situation, please make that okay. And forget about the future. Just because the future is going to reveal itself when Pluto hits the 41. So if you look at the Gene Key book, it's the whole codon for a new era of humanity. And those that are ready to embrace it, and we embrace it by working with the energy this year, which there's still work to be done around our people-pleasing, codependency in Libra, and denying our own needs, which is Libra. And Scorpio is, I mean, you're going through a divorce, Scorpios are radioactive material that needs to be transmuted. Pain into power, the alchemist. And we're still in it. Sometimes knowing we're still in it doesn't help the fact that we're in it. But it's a lot better than trying to make something happen when it's not its time to happen. So let's look at general reading, just see what's going on. So what you want is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant represents stability and security, okay? So isn't that funny? Because, and the Hierophant's very straightforward in how it deals with everything. Isn't that weird? Because have I started the reading to say the new experience, it's called the experiential way, which is a new path for humanity, is not going to open. So I think we might be having to work with good enough. And you have got your North Node in the 2nd house, which is about, so money for you, my North Node, should also be a spiritual duty to yourself, okay? But also realising we're still in this transitional year. And how do I work with good enough? Do you understand? It's going to be an interesting... So the gift that's helping you get that is the King of Wands. So I guess you're feeling... There's a part of you feeling very empowered energetically. It's funny because the King of Wands doesn't act. So this would be the wand, the fire of life. So very much, I guess you call... yeah, I mean the solar plexus isn't the fire of life, the desire to live, the desire to be alive. Oh, this could be your ex-husband. Give me a minute, I'll find out. Again, the 6 of Wands is the challenge, so that's the Mars and Leo. This is the rising above. I'll find out why. So you've got the Ace of Pentacles in your finances. Now, in your relationships. So the Ace of Pentacles talks about a new practical start. Let me find out. So money and work, you've got the Empress. Listen, please work with, if it's good enough, make it good enough for this year. Yeah. I mean, the Empress couldn't really get better. And you've got the Leo card again, looking at the King of Wands. So yeah, you're becoming on fire, aren't you? This is interesting. I want to talk about something else. And then you get the Star card. You get the Leo Aquarius Access. The Star card. And here, I want to talk about boundaries. Because you could have written my life, by the way. So Saturn in Pisces is trying to teach us about boundaries. Pisces is the all. It's everything. Everything. Yeah. Pisces has no boundaries. Yeah. You've got Venus in Pisces, and you've got Jupiter in Pisces, and you've got it in the Leo house, which is the heart. So that is about, you know, this fourth line is very, very much about a very, very open heart. Very beautiful in Pisces. So it wants to give and give and give. But what it needs to learn is about its limitations and its boundaries. And it's that thing, isn't it? A lot of us are still operating from the old age of Pisces. So the old age of Pisces is very much based on spiritual traditions that were mostly written by men, okay? So men who lived in caves or temples, and they mostly taught us about this endless opening up of the heart. Now, is that true? No. That is, so I think most of us have misunderstood our empathy and our compassion for being a dustbin, and especially as a projector, so you'll have been absorbing all that energy, okay? So boundaries, literally Saturn in Pisces has got the potential for us all to begin to embody our soul. Absolutely beautiful transit if we work with it. And how it wants to work with it is about boundaries, by the way. So I reckon you've probably been feeling this for about 6 weeks by any chance. And maybe, I don't know if you've had to make some adjustments. Yeah. If you've picked up in people who've, for no fault of their own, been just draining the energy force. That's not what the 6th line in human design's about, by the way. The 6th line is about enlightened selfishness. So enlightened selfishness is, it's filling yourself, being fulfilled as a human being. And you do your work and you get paid in exchange as a healthy boundary. I loved that course you were running about returning to yourself. Next time you're doing it, would you let me know? That is so Saturn and Pisces, by the way. It's beautiful. So what you want is a Hierophant. The Hierophant is about stability and security, by the way. It just is. Taurus is in your 7th house at the moment, so that is about desiring. It's okay to desire security, by the way. You know the energy of the year, and I would like you to work with developing the security within your own self. So returning to yourself, it honestly, you've just defined what this energy is about. And when your brother told me that's the course he was doing, I thought, oh my God, I couldn't have named anything better. That is a lot about what you're here to do. So the Hierophant and the Empress, these are both Taurus archetypes. So the Taurus archetype is about the body. The only way to heal trauma is to be embodied, by the way. It doesn't matter what people are selling, it's to be embodied. And then, you know, maybe some, mixing, but this is about embodiment. So this is about security. Security has to come from within. This is the lessons at the moment. And so I'd like you to do all you can to seek the security within your own self. Now, there's a potential we could see that as a punishment, because it can be quite tough. It can be quite lonely at times, can't it? I'm really, really with you on it. There's something quite suffocating about it, but that's what we've got. And if we haven't got it within, that's when we enter into relationships that are not worthy of what we deserve, okay? So, hold on. I want to know who this King of Wands is. It might be a person, it might be your own energy. What's the King of Wands as the gift? Hold on a minute. This would be a fire sign. And you've got the Strength card as soul position. So the Leo archetype is, remember, it's all about our passions, our creativity, our love of life, almost, our Leo. And that's where Saturn's transiting at the moment. So it's asking you to have a lot of it's almost asking you to a little bit of a container, particularly around the giving. Venus and Pisces, holy God, girl, I've got it. Just about survived my life. I guess you feel exactly the same, because Pisces doesn't know boundaries, by the way. And I know this is something you've been really working with. So I want to know if this King of Wands is a person. Who's the King of Wands as the gift? This just could be your own energy. So it could be your own energy. It's with the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups, I'll know more when I do the relationship looking. So this could be a brand new chapter in love opening up for you, by the way. It could be. It could be love of the self, because both of these represent the inner, so the inner relationship with the self. Everything in our life is in a relationship with the self. Everything we attract on the outside only reflects the vibration that we resonate with. So that's how returning to the self is everything. And when we've worked enough with that process is when we meet people on the outside that reflect back to us our worth and not our wounds, yeah. This could be a new chapter in love for you. This King of Wands who is helping you get the Taurus archetype. The Taurus archetype, if it's a relationship, it's a very traditional relationship. So everything's above board. So we're very, very much based on a marriage or equivalent, because marriage in the age we're moving into isn't going to be quite the marriage that we've been leaving. Thank God for that, yeah? So this is very, very different sort of relationships. And that's why the work we do this year is essential to get to the new 41. Or you want to read about it in the book. This could be about self-love. You've got the Empress showing up in your finances. Yeah. So again, this is again the Taurus archetype. It is about care. It is about care. But these are all about self-love, boundaries around who and what you give to, learning to trust your spleen, your splenic authority, aren't you? Learning to trust that, because Taurus guidance is not about the mind, by the way. It's about the wisdom of the body. It's about what feels right for you. And if we're entering into relationships or new relationships, it might be worthwhile, because the 5th house, where Saturn's transiting, can represent a new love affair, by the way. So I'm not sure if that's even what you're thinking about at the moment. It might be worthwhile, if it is, for you to spend some time developing what's the no-go area for you in this region. How long would you want to get to know the person before you became sexually involved? The more you can do this work now and say to yourself, these are my rules, that's what brings not only the inner child back online, but it brings the soul back to the body. Because what you're saying is, I am now in charge, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I don't put you in a situation where harm can happen. So if this is a new love situation, because you've got the Ace of Pentacles showing up here, which speak to aces, talk about new chapters. And I'm not surprised because you've got Pluto on your IC. So this is about starting a whole new cycle. But there's still work to be done. And the potential might still be there to fall into old patterns. I would say it actually will be. Okay? So to bring the soul back to the body and to get that inner child back online, it might be worthwhile if you set so you say to this child, you're safe. I don't know, I can't do it for you. So you, like, oh, this is how long I wait before, I don't know. That's not my job, that's your job, to contain your own soul. Yeah, to have no goal limits. This is how the soul comes back online, and this is how the inner child comes back on, which is our joy, by the way. That's a Leo, when it feels safe to do so. And it feels safe to do so when it's got very, very clear-cut boundaries, not about right and wrong on a moralistic way. That's the old age of Pisces. Right and wrong about what you will and will not allow her to be treated. That's it. That is what, and you could bring in a new code every day. One for the, just sexuality is a good one because it's Scorpio South Node. Was, what are my rules? Rules, if you don't like that word, what are my boundaries going forward before I engage in a new love affair? Okay, that's one example. And when you know them, that is when the inner child starts to be healed and she starts to skip, and that joy comes back to your life, because you've got the Leo here and you've got the Ace of Cups with the King of Wands. This might not be, the King of Wands could be your own energy. Okay, so the King of Wands doesn't act. None of the kings act. Got to laugh at that one. But I'm not sure if that's a bad thing at the moment. Because how I described the start of the reading, if the new experiential way is not beginning to open up, it's a little while next year. I think a lot of breakthroughs will happen next year. Then it'll be definitely the year after, but I think next year. This isn't as much about acting, because we're still working with this energy of limitation, so we're being transformed through limitation. That's how we become a butterfly. That's how it happens. So this might be a bit self-love. returning to the self. This is the inner relationship with the self. That's what it is. That's a Taurus archetype. And most of us project it onto someone else. So my security is out there, when in fact, when we return to the body, and is returning to the self. And isn't it weird with that course you're doing? It's almost, it's beautiful because your North Node's in the second house. And that's about you teaching. This is your energy. You're very in it, by the way. So why is the Six of Wands a challenge? Because that was the gift the last time. That's about rising up. Okay, yeah. It's the Fool card. We're in this, we're here. Sorry. It's almost, I think because you're 0 degrees, so you're getting the Pluto right now. You're really feeling it. And we're in that strange, we are literally in two worlds. Sorry. We are. We're both in the new and in the old. But the new way, the 41st gene key has not been triggered by Pluto yet. It gets triggered at 2 degrees Aquarius, which is my sun, by the way, and it does it a couple of months next year. Which means we're still doing the clearing work. And if a new relationship does come into your life, which it might with that 5th house, by the way, it could do. 5th house is the house of romance. Or even if it doesn't, it might be worthwhile you taking time. So imagine Saturn is an old grandma. And bring her to see, once we realise how precious we really are and how precious our love and our sexual energy is. Remember, this is where we're moving to. Sexuality in the body is a temple. And we put boundaries. It's almost like being reborn again. We're being reborn again with the new vibrational codes. Yeah. And you've got a strange situation because it is really clearly happening with you. So you've been shown, but it's going back to Capricorn. And because we all need to do more healing on our sexuality, Scorpio, and then Libra, our people pleasing, our codependency, our denying our own needs. So that is the work that we have to do before we get to Aquarius, okay? But it's showing up really powerful with you. The Six of Wands and the Fool as a challenge. Or the Fool is the 41 gene key. It's the brand new pathway. It's like, oh my God, it's here and I'm off. That's the 41 gene key. And it's a challenge. So it's sort of, oh my God, do you think I've been saying that? It's sort of here, but it's not. And I am saying that. We are in two worlds at the moment. This is a beautiful reading. You've got the Ace of Pentacles in your relationships. This is about a brand new start. This is about a brand new pattern. So all the aces are seeds. So is this, and this is what we're meant to be doing for the year. We're meant to be seeding new patterns, especially around our sexuality. I'm going to say it again because that's what I'm here to teach. And it feels very far away, by the way. So who we decide, especially as a projector, who you decide to be sexually involved with is the life that you'll be having. This is about seeding brand new pathways. This is beautiful, by the way. I don't know if this is a person or this is about you becoming so goddamn empowered. And where you're becoming empowered is in your relationship with yourself, the body. So remember, there's going to be two paths, the Hopi two paths. One path is going to be people who just embrace more and more of the body. Yeah, the earth. What it is to be alive. On sacred. Gaia is sacred ground, the body is sacred ground. And those who go right into technology, which is a descending path, by the way. So I think this is more about you embracing that sense of the body as a sacred temple. Yeah. Our sexuality as, oh my God, I mean, could there be anything more precious than our sexuality? Anything in the world? Oh my God. People value their car more than they value their sexuality. So this is what we're still clearing out. And this could be a brand new potential relationship. I've got no idea yet. If it is, someone does want to show up, I do want you to be a little bit careful of this year, only because the potential to fall into old patterns is going to be really strong. I'd be very doubtful if the King of Wands and the Strength card and the two Taurus archetypes would fall into old patterns. But the North Node is in your 7th house, so this is still about you and other people, okay? You've got the Strength card at a soul level, and you know, the Strength card is the heart. This is where I want you to work with your boundaries, because the Venus is in Pisces. Venus in Pisces descends desperately quickly, desperately, darling. If it puts up with less than it truly wants. Oh my God, overnight collapse, Venus and Pisces, because we're like, Pisces has got no boundaries, it's got no way of filtering anything else out. So the minute it puts up with anything less than what it deserves, it's a very, very downhill battle, darling. So I would love it. So working with Leo here, look, so she's got her, remember you pulled this around the relationship and I said, oh, the two of you are having to hold yourself back a bit. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, is it? Really? Because she's got control of the lion. So imagine a lion as the part of us that might act but causes itself pain. So this is really about you taking charge of your life, and she's looking right at Taurus, which is about the inner relationship with the self. And it's a little bit difficult for you because it is in the 7th house again, so you have got a theme of relationships going on this year. Someone brand new might appear, by the way. I'm going to put it out there. And if that's the case, could you take your time to work with develop at least three absolutely no-go areas for you. Because Venus and Pisces has no boundaries, you have got to be the boundary. That's what Saturn's trying to get you to do, darling. What are my boundaries? And it's so hard. I'm sorry, sometimes you want to cry, because we're human. And to be human is to have desire. Desire's not bad. It's what makes us human. That's it. But because of the energy, we want to have desire for that which is going to lead us to our highest. Honestly, darling, I've got Venus and Pisces. I get this energy. It's the most beautiful exalted Venus, by the way. But holy shit, does it need boundaries? We're not meant to be doormats. We're not meant to just be people that everyone dumps on. Yeah, and I think I'd be very surprised if this hasn't been going on for you for about 6 weeks. Yeah, that's it. And if you think about Pisces, tends to be the planet of addiction, and it's because it's got no boundaries. It's got no ability to filter that which it absorbs, and you absorb it right into your heart, which is outstandingly beautiful. If it's seen, and it has to start with you seeing yourself for who you are. Yeah, that's it. The inner relationship with the self. Not sure what this Ace of Pentacles is in your finances. Ace of Pentacles is about seeding a brand new start. Aces, earth, practical level. Again, this is about the body. It's about values. Well, you've already done the divorce, so it might be about that as well. So it's almost like, so really think about it. You're getting ready for this 41st gene key to be triggered. And the more you read about it, the more you'll think, oh my God, so the whole of the planet's going to have it, which is a new pathway opening up. That's when we're going to know where we're going. So it's useless getting lost in it this year, darling. Save your time, work on healing your sexuality, and then healing our Libra, which is our people pleasing. I think you know quite a lot about Libra now. Denial of the self, a bit like the martyr energy. The martyr's a beautiful energy, absolutely beautiful. Bad rap, but not when it's unconscious. Yeah. So, and then you end with the Star card. Grace. I mean, this is the soul in the body. Look. And she pours her waters. Now, Aquarius, again, see, she's totally vulnerable. See? She's totally vulnerable. Third eye's open, she shares through her water. Very big healing. I mean, this is the healing card. Grace decides everything. Sometimes when Grace turns up, remember you got it a couple of months ago in your money and we couldn't see it? And I said, you have to keep working with it. It always shows its face, Grace. But again, it's got no boundaries. And that is why you've got Saturn and Pisces for 3 years, which is keeping you. And these aren't, you don't want walls. So if you're journaling, what are boundaries? What are they? What did you need to learn when you were a child that you didn't learn? One from your mother, one from your father, and give yourself one every day, and then start to develop, right, well, it's now my turn to put my boundaries around myself. What are you willing to not put up with? This is how you heal Libra. Now money looks good. You've got the Empress there. You know, the Empress is, by the looks of it, I wouldn't say, what I'd like you to do, and I think, oh my God, she's been saying this forever, I want you to work on good enough. Yeah, good enough. I mean, the Empress is prosperity. Prosperity is in our belly, by the way. So really, it's when we want to work with prosperity issues, it's about healing the guts, because the guts is what holds our trauma. So that's always where it is. depopulating the microbiome, channeling in new messages about magnetism, about prosperity. Yeah. But I would love it if you could work with, actually, so this path's opening up next year. This is where I'm at right now, and it's good enough for me. So don't use your precious energy in what's not here yet. Because I go into fantasy. Oh, it's going to be that, it's going to be that. And it's like, no one knows. Because it's going to be a brand new path. So us thinking we know is, how is it going to be a new path if we think we know? We know yours is going to be about how you live, because all your Aquarius is in the 4th house. We knew that with the 44 anyhow. I said that's how it's going to play out. Believe me. Yeah. But it's just not here yet. So a lot of planting your seeds. I don't know if this King of Wands is a person or literally it's your own energy. What I'd like you to work with that. So we've got a habit. I mean, sometimes our security is outside ourselves, in the sense that I know, you know, it's building trust in relationships where you share resources. That's healthy. But there's a place underneath that, which is, it only comes from me. That's it. That's because it does. It does. And then we might come together as a couple, or we might, but then if that person leaves, that's what a living means. I'm still okay as I am. That's what Taurus represents. These are the new Aquarius relationships. I really don't know if this is a new person showing up for you, or it's your energy. And this is, the King of Wands is the ultimate empowered card, especially around the energy towards a desire for life, to be fulfilled, to be creative, to be... and you are being saturated with this energy in all areas of your life, the 4 corners, the cross of life. Yet the experiential way is not quite here yet. And there might be dynamics that manifest for us. There might be, you just email me, darling, that might represent the potential to go back in the old direction. I think we're all going to potentially have that potential showing up. So it could be a new person. I don't know. It could be the potential to not keep the boundaries. I always call him Libra. But you know, I know who he is. I get him really easy. The potential is going to be there for all of us to fall back on our negative Scorpio and Libra, because that's what we're trying to evolve. And your South Node's the same as me, 8th house. So other people being the source of our security, not from that which comes from within. The answer is what you're already doing. It's returning to self, returning to source. Everything looks fantastic, by the way. Yeah, cards agreed. Looks like you're having an emergence. Which is beautiful, because that's how you think, oh my God, it's real, it's really happening. Do you understand? But the whole new path will not be yet. I'm going to upload this and look at relationships.